Alright guys, this is Ice, and I'm going to be casting another game with Spanishiwa, Vile Spanishiwa. This is going to be a Zerg versus Zerg, and his opponent is nrgostojiy. I don't know how to pronounce that. Um, I've been told you're pronouncing my name wrong. Okay, well, Stoji. Energy Stoji. Okay. So it's going to be Vile Spanishiwa against Energy Stoji and Zerg versus Zerg on this map. I'm just thinking Lost Temple. I can't really remember what this map is called right now. Anyhow, this is one of the maps from, one of the replays from Spanishiwa's thread on Team Liquid, and he basically what he's doing is showing people how to use his build, which is the 16 hatch 15 pool, and he shows you how to do it against different builds. So this one, not sure what the Zerg is going to go for, and also Spanishiwa has said that he has not won all of them, but he's just showing off the build, and he doesn't think that the build is the problem. He was just outplayed. So I don't know if he actually wins this. Either way, we are going to see the Spanishiwa build, I believe. Spanishiwa on 15 supplies should be sending down a drone to the mineral line down here very quickly, just as he makes his 16th drone there, and there is the drone moving across. Probably going to be seeing the expansion right there, just because that is what Spanishiwa likes to do. We see he is scouting the opponent's base. There is a spawning pool coming up. Not an extremely early spawning pool, but nonetheless, if you are going for a hatch first, which Spanishiwa is doing, this is extremely dangerous. You do not want to be in this situation. And the early gas by this Zerg player shows that he is most likely going to be going for 100 gas and then taking all the drones off just to get the metabolic boost. Or maybe he'll keep the drones on, but usually what happens when you get it that early is you just get 100 gas, take the drones off, and use that for metabolic boost, which you get in the spawning pool. And he's going to get the 100 gas just as this finishes, so perfect timing there, and he did indeed pull the drones off, and is researching metabolic boost. So, good macro by both players. I'm not familiar with nrgostojiy. However, he is a high level player, I know that for sure. The spawning pool for Spanishiwa going to finish pretty soon, although two Zerglings are already on the way for the purple player, and I'm just going to pull out the production tab here. Sorry I did not do that earlier. And here is the name tab as well. I don't think I've done that before in my replays. I just keep forgetting about it. And to do that, you just hold Control and press N. Kind of an odd hotkey, but I'm not sure if I'm going to want to leave this up for the entire game, just because it blocks out a tiny bit of the top, but it does show the supply and the names and looks pretty nice. So anyhow, some Zerglings down here from the purple player, although Spanishiwa with 4 Zerglings of his own. And that early Zergling production by the purple player just forcing some Zerglings out of Spanishiwa, and that's really not what he wants. He likes to just make drones continuously and defend with a couple spine crawlers, and then go into the Zergling production, or whatever it is he wants to do. And we can see the purple player has gone for a hatchery of their own, just because he knows that Spanishiwa does have some Zerglings of his own, and it's not going to be as easy as he maybe initially thought. Although the speed upgrade is done for the purple player, so he will have a slight advantage. Although Spanishiwa is staying on creep right here, and we can see a spine crawler coming up just in the middle line. And now one creep tumor at the bottom here. Spanishiwa, he has said that usually he likes to use the initial energy from the first queen to connect the two bases with the creep tumor instead of spawning larva. And spawning larva isn't as important with the very first, just because you're going to have extra larva from the other hatchery, and you're going to have to move the queens very quickly between the two bases if you have any sort of early aggression. So by connecting the bases, you can pretty much defend, not necessarily easily, but you can defend by moving your queens back and forth, and also blocking off the ramp is very important. Just sending it back over there to spawn larva as necessary. And gonna be killing off the Overlord for nrgostojiy. Kind of an odd name there. And nrgostojiy did go for Baneling's Nest. Didn't mention that before. I was just talking about Spanishiwa's build there, but he does have, looks like 5 Banelings over here, and if he's getting to the middle line, this could be very bad for Spanishiwa. Could be game changing. However, using them all on the queens, probably not the most effective use of those Banelings. Not just because they had transfusion and they did stay alive, but I think that because the whole point of Spanishiwa's build is to get ahead economically early, if he had taken out those drones, he would have taken away the advantage, which is the whole point of Spanishiwa's build. And you can see just moving away there, not really wanting to commit when there are 2 spine crawlers and some queens to defend. And now I just have to say, all 4 gases are going up. Spanishiwa likes to get all 4 at 40 supply, which is extremely late. His anti-air are the queens, and he can just keep producing them if necessary with his 2 hatcheries. And he doesn't move out, and he doesn't scout as much, which is one of the problems, although he is so far ahead economically that when you get all 4 gazers and you get them saturated, you have your gas up extremely quickly, and then he's usually able to retaliate very well. We can see more Zerglings just poking around in here, seeing what's going on. Meanwhile, the first expansion of the purple player up and running, and we'll see if the purple player is able to keep up economically. Not with all 4 Vespene gazers, he does not need them. The purple player, however, is going for roaches and an upgrade, so looks like the 3 Vespene gazers serving him just fine. This one, the 3rd, about to finish, so he should be okay. Meanwhile, Spanishiwa, you can see getting upgrades of his own, 2 at once, and he can do that just because he started so early, and getting a Roach Warren of his own. Roach Warren's, of course, the appropriate response to Banelings this early in the game. An nrgostojiy with some roaches of his own, so we'll see if the early hatch by Spanishiwa will allow him to outproduce his opponent, who I think has had the Roach Warren up from a good amount of time before Spanishiwa had his up. So we'll see what happens here. Spanishiwa could be in some trouble here. He is getting an Overseer just in case roaches have Burrow. Burrow is being researched by Spanishiwa. I do not think nrgostojiy has it, although I am not 100% sure. The roach is trying to do some damage at the front here, however transfuse being used very nicely. A lot of queens over here. Roach is not going to get in, and Spanishiwa should pull those queens back. Don't want them to get sniped off at all. And he is making some roaches of his own, all the while making sure his ramp is blocked off and there can be no run by. Spanishiwa getting the roach speed. I'm not sure if he researched the roach burrow already. I do not think so, but I could be wrong. Should say that for both players the upgrades are almost finishing, but Spanishiwa does have both at the same time. So as soon as he's finished, Spanishiwa will be at an advantage just because he has the shield upgrade as well as the ranged upgrade, whereas nrgostojiy only has the ranged upgrade. He is going for the roach speed now, and Spanishiwa's is about halfway done. So Spanishiwa probably looking to push out just as soon as he's finished, unless he wants to sit back and continue with his economic advantage, but I think he will push out, as that does make sense. It looks like he is moving the queens forward. I'm not sure if he's going to commit with them. He'll probably be placing a lot more creep tumors over here if he does want to attack with the queens. However, just pushing those overlords off, of course never wanting your opponent to have vision of what you're doing. However, purple does have a considerable force as well, but I think the upgrades are really going to show what the difference is. And Spanishiwa, he could go for another base and let these upgrades finish, and he would be ahead. However, he's doing pretty nicely. The forces look just about even, except Spanishiwa with a slight advantage here, especially with the queens using transfuse. Looks like the queens are not going to go down just because of the transfusion. He does have a lot of roaches. Nice concave over here for purple, but I do not think it's going to be enough. Some banelings being used. And Spanishiwa, a lot of roaches have gone down. Maybe it was the concave. Not sure if that did much though. However, the queen's transfuse did make a difference, and I think as a result of that, Spanishiwa will come up ahead. Yes, there is the GG from nrgostojiy. One spine crawler in the back was not enough. He should probably have gone for a better defense just over here at this, not really the choke, but this little area over here. The Spanishiwa in a very nice lead, and when I say lead, I mean just the upgrades really, I think, made a lot of difference in that battle, just because the forces were almost even there. He could have waited and sat back, but that would have given his opponent the chance to do something unexpected, maybe come back. So very nice play by Spanishiwa. And I should also say that Spanishiwa does not really like roaches. He thinks they're a bad unit, but roaches were the thing to go for here, especially when there were banelings in play and roaches by the other player, and he could outproduce just because of the very early hatchery. That's going to be it for this cast. If you have any suggestions, or if you didn't like the video, please comment why. If not, you can just like the video if you want. I don't really care, I'm just doing this for fun. And that's going to be it for today.